So guys, we've gone through all the parts and pieces that are going to go into making the 3 separate raised garden beds, and we've got this blank template for our backyard abundance. We're not going to pull up or uproot, and we're certainly not going to poison or spray chemicals in any of the grass. We're going to do 2 simple things and then put the beds right on top. We're going to cut the grass as short as possible so that the grass is just as low as it can be to the ground, and then we're going to cover it with cardboard. And everything's going to go on top of that. The whole backyard abundance, front yard abundance, patio parking spot, whatever it is now is going to get turned into an area for growing voluptuous veggies. And we're going to just to start off by cutting the grass and covering all the surface with cardboard. And then we're going to build our beds. Here we go. Okay guys, we cut the grass, started to put down cardboard. And with our least expensive, simplest material to use, I've just built a box. So for now, to position it, I'm just putting 2 screws in each corner. This is the last corner, just to show you. I just took the 10-footer that was going to make the 5-foot ends, and I cut it in half. We've got 12-footers down the rest of it. So now we've got 2 screws in each corner. We've got a nice little box. This is where you might want a buddy, because now you can pick it up. If you've got a buddy, move it around a little bit, position it just right, and then we're going to start filling what's inside the box and putting down ground cover around what goes outside the box so that it's weed-free both in and out the box, and we're going to get our 3 beds together. But here we go, we're getting rocking. So you guys remember that early on we talked about the advantages of a 5-foot wide box and how helpful it was? So I just want you to see how wide a 5-foot box is, you know? Okay. This is how big it is. I've got, a 6-foot long arm span, about 2 meters, so that's how big it is. So the idea, remember, is that if you are working outside the box, you can easily reach to the middle without stepping into the soil. So that's what it's looking like, okay? 5 foot wide, which is 1.5 meters, by 12 foot long, which is about 4 meters.
We had already mapped out the whole area where the Backyard Abundance project was going to be taking place in our yard. So we just had a frame of wood on the ground, and then we had a lot of cardboard ready to go and a few helpful friends. So the challenge is, if it's a windy day, you might need a few blocks of wood or small kids to just hold down your cardboard so it doesn't blow away, and get it all laid out so that there's no light peeking through to the ground underneath, so that hopefully you're going to restrict any weed or grass growth of any sort. Once you've got it all laid out, then you're ready to start building more beds on top of that. So as we got ready to lay out the second bed next to the first one, you can see I had my friend just kneeling down there for a minute to make sure we had enough space for a person to comfortably work when the beds are in place. And also you want to have enough room to turn around or to have a wheelbarrow that goes down between the rows between the beds. One of the little challenges we encountered with the blocks and the lids that go on them is that they really note the ups and downs in the soil underneath. So if it's an uneven surface, long boards are going to be a lot easier to work with, because the bricks are really going to go up and down. I was fortunate to have a fairly flat surface underneath, so it made the bricks look pretty good right from the get-go. Safety first, kids. Watch your fingers, watch your eyes, watch your toes. Make sure you're cutting with care. And as you start putting together the parts and pieces, if you're going to make a bed using landscape ties, you're going to get a lot stronger finished bed if you overlap the different joints. So I'd use a half piece and a full piece, and then start at the opposite end with the next tiers that everything's overlapping, just the way bricklayers lay down bricks.
All right, guys, we pretty much got the backyard abundance ready to be abundant. Check it out, eh? We've got the low budget option of the 5x12, 1.5 meter by 4 meter bed. Remember, that's about $1 a foot to go around the perimeter. 2 screws at each corner, boom, you're done, right? 1 10-footer cut in half, that's your ends, and a 12-footer down each end. So simple, so inexpensive, ready to go. It's not gonna fall over. You just put the ingredients in and we're gonna go for it. I'm sitting on kind of the mid-grade one, right? This is 3 landscape ties. They are pressure treated. Some people may or may not like that, but eco ties aren't available where I am. You might be able to get ones that aren't treated, but the same dimension. We just took 12 footers and cut them in half for the ends and in half for the span. So this bed's a little narrower. It's about 4 feet, so a little over 1.2 meters maybe by 12 feet. That's about $3 a foot to go around the perimeter. And then this is the big beauty. If you wanted to do some front yard, the outside face that's looking at me is dressed, looks really good. The lids come on and off really easy if you want to move anything around. If you maybe don't like bending over too much, you could go 2 bricks high, put a little more soil in, and then you could sit on it while you garden. That'd be pretty sweet. So that's about $5 a foot to go around the perimeter. Now you'll notice there's cardboard everywhere, right? Got it all for free. Let's hear it for that. And it is just the pulp from wood. So it's going to turn back into soil. And when you put cardboard down on grass, which I've already cut really short, it pretty much kills it. And then the key is just top dressing it so that the grass underneath doesn't get any light, doesn't get any air. You would do this on top of soil, on top of grass, on top of a patio. I've even seen people do this successfully on top of concrete. Just put the cardboard down everywhere. So now it's already the whole perimeter that's in the future going to be deer fenced and all that, but we're not getting there yet. We just have our 3 beds ready. A nice space between, so there's about a meter in between each bed. And we're gonna end up having a doorway into the area over here with the deer fencing that goes around. So think of that in the future. I'm facing the sun so you can see where we're oriented. And now we're gonna start filling the beds. The stuff that's most carbony, most brown, most rotted, and gonna be most fertile for seeds to germinate is gonna be the top layers. The stuff that's most nitrogen rich, most green, most alive, grass clippings, fresh compost, tree chippings, that's all going to go in the bottom. But to start off, to cover everything in the beds and outside the beds, we're just going to put tree chippings down. I got them for free from a forest service company. They basically cut down people's hedges and branches and trees, run them through a chipper, and basically shred them up. So we're going to lay about 10 centimeters, 4 inches or so right down over everything, inside the beds and on the walking paths. Those walking paths will not be slug friendly. They won't allow any pests to get into the beds or to be hiding under cover at night. And it'll be a great way inside the beds to have something that's going to be breaking down and adding nourishment and holding moisture through the hot months when we're growing lots of veggies here. So let's get ready to layer this all out with tree chippings. Here we go.